Hi friends, I'm Parvez and this is our 7th video in Python Selenium. In this video we're going to talk about implicit and also explicit waits in Python Selenium WebDrivers. Now there will be situations that your test script will not find an element in the web page because the page is loading slowly, or even that web element is not available in the web page. So this could happen due to different reasons. For example, the web element on the web page is not loaded by the time your test script tries to find it. So on that time we will receive negative results or errors from our test scripts. So we need to match the speed of the test script with the application's speed by introducing delays in the test script. Now there are two methods that you can use in Selenium WebDriver. So we have implicit wait and also we have explicit wait. So first we are going to talk about the implicit wait. So now the implicit wait offers a generic way to synchronize the entire test or group of steps in WebDriver. For example, we have two pages. One is posted on the local server and the second is on the remote server. So the load time for the page that is in the local server will be less than the page that is in the hosted in a server. Now we want to execute test cases against each of them. We should configure the wait time accordingly, and we can use implicit wait time. And by default the implicit wait time is 0. Now let's create an example and you will know that what I mean. So before starting our example, let's check the documentation for Python Selenium. So in the waits, now these days most of the web apps are using AJAX techniques. When page is loaded by the browser, the elements within that page may load at different time intervals. Now this makes locating elements difficult. If an element is not yet present in the DOM, a locate function will raise an element not visible exception. Using waits, we can solve this issue. So waiting provides some slack between actions performed, mostly locating an element or any other operation with the element. Now there are two types of waits. We have implicit wait and also explicit wait. So first we will learn about the implicit wait. So if you come down and in here we have implicit waits. Now an implicit waits tell WebDriver to pull the DOM for a certain amount of time when trying to find any element or elements not immediately available. Now the default setting is 0. Once set, the implicit waits is set for the life of the WebDriver object. Now this is the example. Now let's just create a simple example in here. So first I'm going to just import from Selenium. I want to import WebDriver. And after importing this, we need to just create our WebDriver. So webdriver.chrome, and now we can you can add implicit wait in here. So implicitly wait, and in here we are going to just add 10 seconds, and after that we are going to just say driver.get, and in here we want to just use this example. So from here we can just choose now this login. So you can see if I add login in here. So let me just, I've already created a user in here, and if I add the password in here like this, and let me just log in, you can see we have a loading in here, and after that it will open this page in here. So you can see username Parvez, and after opening of this I want to just search in here something like, for example, learn JavaScript, or about Python book or JavaScript book, whatever you can just do in here. So first I want to just find my username, username locator, password locator, and also login. And after login I want to add something in the search box. So now we need to just so first of all we have added in here, so first let me just add this login URL. So this is the demoqa.com/login, and in here we have added 10-second wait. Now it will wait for maximum of 10 seconds if there was any wait on the elements or loading the page. Or we can say that this waits up to 10 seconds before throwing a timeout exception unless it finds the element to return within the 10 seconds. So now you can use the implicit wait for all elements in the page, and it is available for the all elements. For example, this 10 seconds is for this URL, and also this is for the elements that we are going to just get. So first let me just get this the locator of this element. So you can see that the ID is username, and in here we can just create a uname, and we can just say driver.find element by ID, and the ID is what was the ID? Username. And another one is password, so we can just say driver.find element by ID, and this is password. So after doing this, we are going to just find the btn login, driver.find element by ID, and the ID is, so this is password. If you see, you can see that the this is password, the ID, and for the login you can see that the ID is login. So after this, now we need to send keys. So in here we want to, for example, add our username, registered username, and in here we want to add our password. We want to send keys, and after that we want to just use click on the login button. So now we can just say uname. First we want to send keys for the username, so dot send keys, and in here we can add the username, and for the password we want to send keys, so password dot send keys, and this is the password. And after that we are going to just say btn login. So we want to btn login dot click. So we're not going to do anymore. We can just add our, for example, username in here. After that we want to add the password, and after that we are going to just click on the login, and it will open the login page for us. So now you can see that this is the login page. Now you can see that there are some, for example, some loading time, and we have used implicitly wait in here. Now right now if we run this code, you will not see much effects, and the effect will be on that time. For example, if the page loading takes some times, and on that time you will see the effect. So right now if I run this, let me just run this, and so it will first open the demo qa.com/login. So now you can see that it enters the username and password, and you can see this is our profile. Now I have already said that you will not see any effect, because if there was an issue in the loading page, on that time you will see the effects. So now let me just run this again, or there is no need to run this, and you can just see, let me just run it again. So now it will first open the our login page, and after that it will send a key. So you can see this is the login, and you can see it is loading the profile for us. So this was implicitly wait in Python Selenium WebDriver. Alright guys, now we have learned about the implicit wait. Now one important point that you should make a note, that this implicit wait is available for all the elements in the web page. For example, this implicitly wait is available for the loading of this page, for the finding the elements like username, password, or finding the button. Now, so we have learned about implicit wait, and you can see that we have added a 10-second implicit wait in here. Now, there may be some situations, for example, we have added this 10-second wait, and this wait is for the, as I've already said, that this wait is for all web elements. For example, maybe in this 10-second, the page could not be loaded, or our code could not find a web element in the page, in the web page during this maximum 10-second wait. So on that time we will receive an exception or an error because we implicitly specified the 10-second wait in here, and if during this 10-second our code could not find any web element in here or could not load the page, we will receive an exception or an error. So to solve this problem, there is explicit wait. Now, explicit wait is another wait mechanism that we can use in WebDriver, and it provides a better control compared to implicit wait. Because implicit wait, as I've already said, that implicit wait is generic to all web elements in the web page. But if you have one specific web element in your web page where you want to wait for a long time, then it's good to use explicit wait, because in explicit wait we can use a set of predefined or custom conditions for the script to wait for before processing with the further steps. Now, Selenium WebDriver provides the WebDriver wait and also expected conditions to implement an explicit wait. Now, if you see the documentation of Selenium WebDriver, so for the explicit wait, now an explicit wait is a code you define to wait for a certain condition to occur before proceeding further in the code. The extreme case of this is time.sleep, which sets the condition to an exact time period to wait. And you can see that WebDriver, and in here it's telling that we have WebDriver and also expected condition that we can use. So now let's just create an example in here. I have already, so first let me just copy these two codes in this Python file, and in here I want to just also open this login. Okay, now this time, for example, I want to log in. So let me just add my, for example, add my username, and I can add my password. I want to log in, and you can see that there is wait on loading on the page, and after that I want to just search something in here. So for example, learn JavaScript, for example. I want to write learn JavaScript in here. So now for this, the first thing we need to just get the username and also password. So we have already done this in our this video, this part. So we can just copy these three code from here and paste it in here. So this is for the username, and this is the password locator, and this is the btn login. So after login, so I have logout. Now let me just add my username and also password. So after login, so I'm waiting for the loading of the profile page. Now in here I'm going to just write something in a search box. For example, I want to send keys learn JavaScript, or whatever you want. Now for this we need to just find and inspect this element, and you can see that the ID is a search box, and we can use the search box. So right now we are not going to use this. So right now we are going to just use the btn login, and now we want to send keys. So for the send keys, I'm going to just copy this username and password, and after that I'm going to just click on the btn login button. So I want to send keep this is the username and this is the password, and after that I want to click on btn login. Now I'm going to create a try. So because if I log in, you have saw that there is a loading page, and after that it will open this profile page for us. Now there is a wait time, and we want to just do that for this element. So the first thing is that we need to create a WebDriver wait. Now the first thing is that you need to add some imports in here because we need these imports. Okay, from Selenium dot WebDriver dot support dot UI. We want to import WebDriver wait. Also we need to import the expected conditions. So from Selenium dot support, so not support, from Selenium dot WebDriver dot support, we want to import expected conditions as EC. Also we want to import key. So from Selenium dot WebDriver dot common dot by, we want to import by. And now in here we are going to just say, first we need to create a WebDriver. So WebDriver wait, and we want to add our driver in here, and we want to add 10 seconds of wait in here. Dot until, and in here we need to just add our EC dot presence of element located, or you can use, for example, click. Now if you see in here the documentation, there are different expected conditions. So there are some common conditions that are frequently of use when automating web browsers. So now we can see we have title is, title contains, or element to be clickable, and you can see that element located, element to be selected, and you can use these according to conditions. You can use these expected conditions. So in here we are going to just use presence of element located, and in here we are going to use by dot id, and you need to add the id in here. So if you see the id is search box. Let me just copy this and paste it in here. So id, and okay, let me just add this in here, and now I can just send key in here. So let me just bring it in this section. Now I want to just say element dot send keys, and I want to send, for example, learn JavaScript or learn Python, whatever you want. Also I'm going to just add a time dot, or we don't need to add that. So in here I'm going to just say finally, and the finally I want to just close the my browser. Now in this code, Selenium will wait for a maximum of 10 seconds for an element matching the given criteria or condition to be found. If no element is found or clicked in that time, a timeout exception is thrown. By default, WebDriver wait, so this WebDriver wait calls the expected condition, so calls this expected condition every 500 milliseconds until it returns success. And this expected condition will return true in case of success, or not null if it fails to locate an element. So now let me just run this, run the code, and we will see the result. So it will first open the website for us, the login page for us. It is demoq8.com login. And after that it will find the locators like username, password. So username, password, now you can see loading, and so because it's so fast, and we need to just add a time.sleep in here. So let me just add time.sleep, and we want to just import this time, so import time, and now we are going to just run this once again. Okay, now this is my username, password, and it's loading. Now you can see that it right sleep exactly. So we have error in time.sleep. So sorry, we need to just give, for example, 5 seconds in here. Now let me just run this again. And now we are waiting for the login page. And after opening the login page, so it takes some time. So okay, now you can see that this is and now it's loading. Now you can see we have learned JavaScript, and after 5 seconds it will close the browser. You can see that it's closed. So now we can see that in here the wait is just for the search box, and an implicit wait, so this implicit wait was for all the elements, but now in here it is just for this search box that we want. So thank you guys. If you have any question, please let me know, and for the further videos please subscribe to my channel.